In 1986, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, aged just 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days. For 4 decades, that record has stood unchallenged, but now there is a rising star named Moses Itauma who's setting his sights on history. With raw talent, tremendous hand speed and power, and unwavering focus, Atama's mission is clear: to become the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, but the clock is ticking. Moses Itauma is aiming to break one of the most iconic records in boxing, but to do that, he has to do more than just win fights. He has to do it quick. The window is closing, and Atama knows it. So, can he really pull it off? And more importantly, what are the potential dangers that come with chasing such a historical? Boxing has always been a part of Moses Itama's life. From a young age, him and his older brother would train at the St. Mary's boxing gym, where his potential was recognized from early. A crafty yet powerful southpaw with a ring IQ well above his years, Moses Itauma was clearly different from the other boys at the gym and was thrown into the deep end quickly. He dominated the amateur ranks and could have easily gone to the Olympics and won gold, but Moses had a different goal in mind. He turned pro at age 18, not only to support his family, but also with greatness in mind.
Yeah. Mike Tyson's record, you want to break it, become heavyweight world champion younger than he did, would make you the youngest ever heavyweight world champion. I mean, that is, when you're talking about shooting for the stars, that is literally doing it. Yeah, you believe that that is going to become a reality?
Yeah, obviously that's in my subconscious mind. I want to beat Mike Tyson's record, but I'm not thinking about that just yet. It's still two years away. But yeah, definitely my long-term goal or mid-term goal would be becoming the youngest ever world champion.
In early 2023, Moses Itauma signed with Frank Warren and made his pro debut. And if the boxing world hadn't took notice of him before, they would on this night when he ended his opponent in only 23 seconds. And now he is 10 pro fights deep, with only 4 of those going past the opening round. He has also passed his first real test with flying colors, knocking out the extremely tough yet limited Marius Wack, when the likes of Vladimir Klitschko and Dillian White were unable to do so. But most of Itama's goal is not just knocking out overmatched opponents on undercards of bigger fights, it's to dethrone Mike Tyson as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. But will this pursuit end Moses' career before it's even begun? Now, let's break it down. To beat Mike Tyson's record, Moses Itauma has until May 20th, 2025, meaning he has less than a year to get a title shot and win. And he has to do this in one of the most stacked heavyweight divisions we've had since the days of Mike Tyson himself. The heavyweight division is a minefield right now. Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Martin Bakole, Zhilei Zhang may all be on the wrong side of 30, but will still be extremely dangerous for a couple more years yet. And for Moses Itauma to become the youngest heavyweight champion ever, he will most likely have to go through one of these giants very soon, which is no small feat. Now, as talented as Moses Itauma is, rushing his development to achieve this goal could be dangerous. Not only is he going to have to take on a world champion and beat them, he is then going to consistently have to fight the best of the best to defend that title, perhaps before he is mentally or physically ready to do so. And unfortunately, boxing is littered with sad stories of young fighters who have got into too many wars too soon and have to live with the long-term consequences after retirement. A prime example being the youngest world champion of any weight class, Wilfred Benitez. But Itauma has already shown he can handle that step up in quality. At just 15 years old, he would show up to the gym after school and start sparring world champions and contenders like Anthony Joshua, Daniel Dubois, and Lawrence Okolie. For a schoolboy to go toe-to-toe with a grown man in a boxing gym is impressive. Going toe-to-toe with some of the top heavyweights on the planet is special, but to give those same boxers some of the toughest spars of their lives is insane. That's what makes Itauma so dangerous. He has had a crash course in elite level boxing, where he has sparred world champions before he even finished school. But here's the thing, it's one thing to spar a world champion, it's another thing entirely to beat them when the lights are on and the titles are on the line, when those same champions can use old man veteran tactics on him that he is far too experienced to have picked up yet. That's where the real test lies. And not only is Moses Itauma going to have to overcome a lot of tests inside the ring to break Mike Tyson's record, there will be a lot of tests outside the ring as well. See, Mike Tyson breaking that record wasn't just achieved through talent and power alone. It was the perfect storm, including a high level of activity where he had over 30 pro fights in the first 2 years, something that is just not feasible at the higher levels of boxing today. Mike Tyson also had the right team around him. He was fortunate enough to be tutored by one of the greatest trainers of all time in Customato. And he also broke through during the mid 80s when boxing was going through a bit of a dark age and there weren't any standout names to stand in his way of winning the world title. But Moses Itauma surrounded himself with the right people as well, whether that be trainer Ben Davison, who has trained the likes of Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, or having legendary promoter Frank Warren manage his career, who already seems to be sowing the seeds for this title shot. Whether that be giving him a big step up in competition, fighting Dempsey McKean next on the Usyk Fury undercard, or making moves behind the scenes to give him a top 10 ranking at the WBO, possibly hoping after the Usyk Fury rematch, the winner retires and the belts become fragmented and he will have a much greater chance of getting a title shot. Not to mention the fact that Moses himself has always shown a maturity beyond his years. He has consistently shown that he has his head screwed on and his feet firmly on the ground. If anything is to stop him from achieving this goal, complacency or immaturity will not be the reason why. So it's time for the verdict. Can Moses Itauma break Mike Tyson's record? Yes, he can. And to be honest, I hope he does. He has the talent, the potential, and the focus to make history. But the real question is, does it even matter? Let's say he doesn't do it. Let's say time runs out and he misses the opportunity. He still has all the time and all the talent to become a true generational great. If the stars do align, say Usyk beats Fury in the rematch and then retires, Moses may be able to pick up one of the vacant belts. Fantastic. He becomes an international superstar overnight. But if that doesn't pan out and he takes a couple more years to hone his craft before taking on the big boys, he may go on to even have a greater career because of that. Either way, I think we should all be getting behind this kid and watching his career closely. It's really refreshing to see a heavyweight so developed at such a young age. We have not had this in a long time. And if he goes on to even achieve a fraction of his potential, history will be made. So we need to keep our eyes peeled for that. So what do you guys think? Do you think he's going to break Mike Tyson's record or not? Do you even think it's a good idea and instead maybe he should be focusing on his development instead of chasing records so young? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like the video, make sure to hit the button. Make sure to subscribe to support the channel and help it grow, and also to keep up to date with all the great future content we got coming up, whether that be boxing history documentaries or analysis of the biggest fights that are happening right now. We've got it all at New Age Boxing, so make sure you stick around. But until then, guys, peace.